Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you doing? If you can hear me, let me know. Can I be heard? Can I be heard? I want to be sure I can be heard. Um, all right, so if you can hear me, let me know I can be heard. All right, I want to be sure. Can somebody do a check for me and let me know if I can be heard? All right. Okay. First of all, I'm sharing the link on my other social media platforms. And then we're going to start right away. All right, so good morning. Let me deal with the audio. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, regardless of wherever you're joining me from. It's just a few minutes past 7 o'clock, and it's time to connect. All right, happy International Women's Day, IWD 2026, to all the amazing women out there, all the alpha females, all the great women who have learned to turn pain into purpose, who have clarity to certain degrees of their ideals and dreams, who are just doing a great job of being human beings, amazing human beings, respectable, honorable, decent, hardworking, high flying, high achieving. I salute you. I salute you. I celebrate every woman who is a good person. All right. Every woman who is a good person. To all the women in my life, I absolutely celebrate you. My mom, my partner, everyone, I absolutely celebrate you. It's a great day. To my daughters, I celebrate you as well. All right. So it's a great time to be alive. Okay. So I want to be sure that I can be heard. I'm going to do a check right now to be sure that I can be heard. I'm not getting the feedback, so I can't tell. I can't tell you know, if I can be heard. All right. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. So my audio is clear, and we're gonna get to it. It's been an amazing week. Why? And why has the week been amazing? Because I've gotten amazing and fantastic feedback from tens and tens and scores of you. And truly, I'm not exaggerating. It's been amazing. I'm really blown away by the feedback that I've gotten. First of all, I haven't even been able to share them. For some, I asked, "Oh, please, can I share this?" I've not even been able to share, and it's just been fascinating. Just hearing what your feedback and your take has been on the series that have gone past, from alignment to impact, and how it is, done greatly, even as just recently as a few minutes ago. All right, Sammy Mbok sent me um, just a little note about how much has been, and the particular episode as well, how much it has been such a phenomenal blessing to him, and I'm just grateful, thankful for the opportunity, right, to be able to, you know, share my thoughts with you on that subject matter. I particularly think that that series was amazing. It's the first series that I am building a book from, and by the way, yes, I am writing a book around it. It's been phenomenal. It's been absolutely amazing, and you know, hey, just thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, uh, for being there. Thank you so much. So today we're starting a brand new series that will run through the next 4 Sundays in the month of March. I think I still need to take this audio down a bit. All right, it's a bit too loud. It's a bit too loud. Okay, great. So all through the month of March, we're going to be um, dealing with a new series, and it's super amazing. Somebody said, "Wow, what's your inspiration for this series?" Apart from the fact that they are, let me tell you the truth, very well thought through, very well prayed through. They simply just are the things that are, beckoning on my spirit, the things that form the core. of my speaking engagements or my thoughts. And it's absolutely important that I'm also able to share this with you. So, yes, we're starting a new series. We're done with the From Alignment to Impact series. We're starting a new series that will run over the next four, this inclusive, next 4 Sundays of the month of March. And it's called The Economics of Relationships. You don't want to miss this. Actually, it's a follow up, it's a sequel to the series that we had in the month of February, even up to the first Sunday in March. So we're starting a brand new series, and it's called the economics of um, the economics of relationships. And our very first episode with this today is going to be centered about we're going to having thoughts. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on having relationship as capital. All right, having relationship with capital. And I think this is very, very important. I think it's very, very important. So you want to jump on this. You want to share this with as many people as possible. You want to make sure that all your frenemies, friends, and true friends, as I always say, that they're logged on right now because I'm about to start. I'm about to start, and we have about 50 minutes to unpack something I consider truly exciting and truly awesome. And please let me know where you're joining from. It's in LinkedIn, it's in YouTube, or is it Facebook? All right, so let's get to it. So when we talk about the economics of relationship, because I need to just understand this, right? When we talk of relationship as capital, we're talking of social capital. And you have to understand the economics of social capital, which is really what this conversation is about. I think it's really, really. I'm doing a check across board. I think it's really, really important that we pay attention to this because listen, understand this. Every meaningful opportunity in life travels through people. And it's so important. Everything that happens to you will come through people. It was someone that once said that God will do mighty things, but will do it through men, right? I heard, I think it was Apostle Joshua Selman that said that there are three things that you need to be grateful for. You have to be thankful for the mercy of, for the three gifts you have to be thankful for. You have to be thankful for the gift of mercy, you have to be thankful for the gift of Holy Spirit, and you have to be thankful for the gift of men. All right. So you must understand that men play a pivotal role in your experience on earth. Money may build structures, but relationship opens doors to those structures. All right. Relationships are so key. And so while you may understand that talent may give you competence, but trust from a relationship is what gives you access. So yes, there's the flip part of it. Oh, money is good. Oh, my talent is great and all. But without a relationship, all that you have may never find expression. You may never have a channel or a conduit by which you're able to pass through that which you have inherent in you. So it's very, very understand, very, very important. All right. So here's the thing. And one of the things I've come to learn in life is that look, successful leaders, a lot of thought leads, and people that are very intentional have come to realize one thing. And this is something that a lot of people miss. And in conversations, in engagements, in interaction with people, I've come to see that a lot of people really miss this. And that's the fact that relationships are not just social assets. Relationships are economic assets. So yes, I know that relationships are social assets, and you want to write this down. But beyond that, relationships are economic assets. And somebody please write that down in the comment section of whatever platform that you're on. Relationships are economic assets. So what do I want us to achieve over the next um, 50 minutes? Number one, I want us, and I'm teaching this way because I want you to be able to assimilate this and to learn this as easy as possible. Number one of the things that you have to look out for is that we're going to be reframing relationship as an economic capital. I've already talked about that, and we're going to go deeper into it. Number two, I want you to look at the different forms. There are about five of them of relational capital. It's very understand, which is very, very important. I also want us to be able to recognize trust as economic infrastructure. Part of this conversation will also reveal to you and help you look at the strength of your relationship or relational portfolio or the strength of your relationships. Because you see, let me tell you something. Some of your struggles are because you have a very poor relationship portfolio. Okay. And then obviously, as a fallout from the last series as well, we're looking to have you begin to build intentional networks of value, so that you're also a person of value, bringing value to a network, but also much more than that, that you're also building a network of value. And we already talked about a value, all right, of what a network is. But let me start by asking you a question, guys. If you were to audit your relationship the way you audit your bank, your financial records, your company assets, and all of that, if you were to if you were to audit your finances the same way, to audit your relationship the same way you audit your finances, you had an independent or private auditor come in, an external auditor come in to audit your relationships or audit, whatever. The question I'm going to ask is this: what will the auditor say? Yeah, and I want you to be sincere. I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. What will the auditor say? If you were to audit your relationships, what will the auditor say? Will the auditor say, um, will the auditor say that you have strong relational assets? Will the auditor say that you have limited access capital? Will the auditor say you have a weak credibility reserve, or you have no credibility, credit, ability? Um, what will the auditor say? A lot of people spend time trying to grow their income. You spend time trying to grow your money. You spend time trying to grow your business. Um, but you're not intentional about growing your relational equity. That's a big problem. That's a massive problem. Because without your relational equity, listen, let me tell you something. Without your relational equity, there's nowhere you're going to. There's absolutely, absolutely nowhere that you're going to. And I'm doing a check. If you can hear me clearly, do send me a prompt. I'm getting something from LinkedIn that says they're having a bit of struggle with audio. Just give me a moment to just. All right. Okay. Okay. I think that has been fixed. So I'm gonna have someone at the back end work on that. All right. So I was talking about your relational equity. It's so important. You want to grow your money. You want to grow your business. You want to grow something, and you're not paying attention to your relational equity. Don't you understand? Don't you understand that people rarely rise again? When you look at life and you look at how people have grown, and you look at major breakthroughs, when you look at breakthroughs in business, in ministry, in leadership, in governance, when you look at breakthrough, you realize that something profound. Number one, people rarely rise alone. People rarely rise alone. How do I know that? Somebody opened the door. Somebody made an introduction. Somebody made a recommendation. Somebody transferred credibility. Somebody created access for you. Somebody is somewhere doing something. So people rarely rise alone. So your ability to be able to pay attention to and manage and maximize your relational equity is absolutely important, has a positive correlation to however well you do in life. However well you do in life. Your network, your network is your invisible infrastructure. We talked about, you know, how your network is not just a list of contacts, how your network is not just, just people that you have on your phone or people that you know. It's not about people that you know. Your network is an ecosystem. And every ecosystem gives life and receives life. All right, gives life and receives life. So haven't put this background, right? Haven't put this background, haven't made this background or this introduction that will let us, and I'm very mindful of time, that will let us or have a deeper understanding to the concept of uh, social capital and how important relational equity is to us. Now, let us look to deepen our understanding of social capital. So, what is social capital? Social capital, by definition, is really the economic value embedded within networks of trust, credibility, and access. I mean, there's really no better way for me to define it. It's the economic value that is embedded within networks of trust, credibility, and access. All right, it's so important. Social capital is the invisible currency of influence. Is social so an example of social capital? And many of you know social capital, especially if you're in Nigeria. I mean, really anywhere in the world. You know social capital when you just come out of school and you want to get a job, and then the uncle scribbles something on a card and gives to you to give to somebody, and then next thing they call you for an interview. That's social capital. That's social capital. Or you want to get a job or a contract or something, and then someone picks up their phone and makes a phone call, and then the next thing you walk into a place and everybody's like, "Good morning, we've been expecting you." Because who are you? That's social capital. Social capital is when somebody picks up the phone and calls an examination board. I'm not saying that you didn't write the exam, but just to ensure that the politics of things does not skim you out of an admission that you rightly deserve. And the dean of the faculty says, "I will attend to this." That's social capital. Social capital is when you need a favor and somebody says, "Oh, it's okay. Just tell them AU sent you." And then you get access. That's social capital. That's social capital. That's social capital. It's what allows someone to unlock opportunities that couldn't hitherto be reached. And it's very serious business, as you will come to see. And it's very so what so usually a lot of people, just when you speak of capital, they understand financial capital, right? They understand financial capital. They understand it. But so what's the difference between financial capital and social capital? So that, look, I'm still trying to define social capital for you so you can have a deeper understanding of it. It's very different from your financial capital, right? So let's look at it this way, right? Let's look at it this way. Financial capital, um, or let me work out something that will serve as a difference. Financial capital is stored in financial institutions or via financial instruments. Social capital is stored in relationships. You understand? It's stored in relationships. So the bank for financial capital is the financial institution. The bank for social capital is relationships. Financial capital is built through investment. Social capital is built through trust. Financial capital can be borrowed. Social capital must be earned. Note that, guys. Financial capital can grow speedily, rapidly, or quickly. Sorry, financial capital, yes. Social capital, on the other hand, compounds slowly. Mm, 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 mm. Financial capital can be stolen. Social capital can be destroyed through character or through character. So you can see the difference between financial capital and social capital. So financial capital, you can borrow it. Social capital, you must earn it. Financial capital is stored in banks and FIs. Social capital is stored in relationships. Financial capital is can grow fast, can accumulate, can compound quickly. Social capital compounds slowly. Financial capital, as I mentioned earlier, can be stolen. Social capital can be destroyed. So you have a clear picture now, because if immediately someone is thinking capital, you've tied words to certain context, certain thinking, to certain application, that when you hear it used in another context, you first struggle to understand, which is why I needed to go back this route. This isn't even really what I want to share with you. I just need you to understand this, so it will enable me to be able to teach faster. All right. Okay. So this is really, really important that we have that. Now the thing about social capital is, one of the things I've come to learn in the course of life, right? I've had a career that's spanning about 25 years. I've worked for people. I've also driven initiatives. I've partnered with people. I've also worked in structured organizations. I've also ran projects. One of the things that I can tell you that is so important that I need you to understand, hear me, is this: money can start a business, but it's relationships that will scale that business. And when I speak of relationship, you already know that even the relationship with your business is as important as your relationship with partners in the business. Good. All right. All right. So it's very, 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 very important. Money can start businesses, but relationships can scale business. For example, if you look at, I mean, let's put down names. Um, apart from the refinery business, refinery business, think about it. Every other business that Dangote is doing, for example, and for those, I mean, even everybody over the world should know Dangote, right? So I'm also thinking of the audience in North America and all of that. But when you think of the Dangote business, it does, first of all, it has a whole spread. So you have FMCG, fast moving consumable goods, you have salt, sugar, and all of that. You have construction, hardware, cement, even has a cement plant, cement producing plant, and all of that. But guess what? Whilst you may have monies that can set up factories and set up industries, it is relationship that allows you to have access to good and strong beneficial government policies. It's relationship that allows you to have the kind of tax rebates that you have. It's relationship that allows, even, I mean, for good or for bad, monopolistic tendencies or monopolistic positions to literally be granted to you. Relationship delivers that. So it's not money that is scaling the business, it's relationship that's scaling businesses. So you understand that it's not the function of the capital that you want. So your financial capital may start a business, may grow a business, but it's your social capital that scales the business. How do I know social capital scales the business? Because there are levels of growth that you will never have unless you have the right kinds of partnership. You can never have the right kind of partnership if there's an issue with your relationship with partners. The only way you can have a relationship with partners, if partners have a certain level of trust in you, which can only be gotten by the equity, your relational equity, or by the depth and the weight of your social capital. Now, do you understand that? So it's not money that gets your business beyond the point. It's the credibility, the trust that gives you access beyond the point. All right. Okay. So if you look at it as well, you look at the MTN, you look at the number of organizations as well, and quite a list off the top of my head. I think about it. Even the banks, at a point, it is relationship, whether a personal brand or a corporate brand, that gets you over a line. There's only so much that your financial capital can do. There's so much that your operational capital can do. There's so much that money as an index can do. After a while, there are all important things like your relational equity that literally not just opens doors, but literally sustains your access within the borders of those doors. And then I hope somebody understands that. I hope somebody understands that. Um, so because when we talk about MTN, you're looking at, okay, for instance, look at regulatory relationships. As an organization, what kind of regulatory relationships do you have? Listen, you can have all the money, but if you don't have a good relationship with FIRS, you're going to have issues. You're going to have them knocking down your door, but you need to have social capital to be able to reach with them, that they will even say, you know what, we give you concession for this period. It only comes from your relational equity. All right. You're looking at institutional partnerships, you're looking at distribution and alliances, you're looking at trust across markets. It's the same thing. It's so important. That's how it works. That's how it works. All right. And so you must understand that this is how, in other words, right? If you liken this to the concept that we talked about in the last series, which is from alignment to impact, you understand that this is how that organizations that scale as a matter of necessity have built ecosystems. Why? Because ecosystems, as I've alluded to severally, are built on relationships. Very important. Ecosystems are built on relationships. And here's an important insight: opportunity doesn't move randomly in society, opportunity moves through trust in networks. Write that down. Opportunity does not, yeah, I like, opportunity does not move randomly in society. It doesn't. It doesn't. There's so many things going on that you don't even get to hear about because you are not in some circles. Vex all the vex you want. Shout all the shout that you want. You're not in some circles. You're not privy to certain information. And yet you're talented, you're gifted. Yet you're probably even the best person for the job. But that's not anybody's concern. You're not part of a circle. You're not part of a network. You're not part of an ecosystem. You will rarely benefit from that ecosystem. And there's a lot embedded. There are a lot of benefits embedded in every ecosystem. Right. Right. This is so important. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. So one of the things I want us to pay attention to, right? One of the things I want us to pay attention to is, um, let's look at. I talked about the fact that one of the things that we'll get out of here are capital models, right? Oh my God, 30 minutes past the hour. One of the things that we'll get from here are capital models, right? Relationship capital models. Because look, this episode is titled. This episode is titled. Sorry, got a call coming. This episode is titled from the economics of relationships. The last episode was from alignment to impact. Still, so now already in 30 minutes, you can obviously tell that this is a follow up to the last episode, right? And one of the things that I said that we will do is that you're going to be getting capital, the different kinds of multi layers of relational capital. All right, multi layers of capital. So let's look at what we call the five capital model. The five capital model. The five capital model. When we talk about relationships, number one. All right, number one. So your deep understanding of this will help you move beyond superficial networking. I'm talking about you being able to build strong networks. I'm talking about you being able to harness, the right kind of collaborations that deliver real value to you. I'm talking about you being able to tap into great opportunities that are available to you and how to maximize the value that you leverage in the ecosystems that you're in and the ecosystems that you're building. It's so important and how to link those ecosystems together. All right. So um, the first layer is relational capital. The first layer is relational capital. All right. So this is relational capital is oh, this is the depth of trust between people. So two people together, do you trust yourselves? Trust is very important. The lack of trust will make a mess of everything. Whether it is someone that's caused the lack of trust or you that does not have the ability to trust and does not trust. Either way, both of you end up looking very stupid because you become suspicious of things that are not. You begin to act in funny ways. So either way, on both sides, both the one that has created an issue and the one that still does not trust, you are both parties to destroying whatever relationship is in. So when we're talking about relational capital, the simple question to ask is there trust? Is there trust? Can you be trusted? Who trusts you with, not can you be trusted, who can trust you with sensitive information? No to those people down. Every single layer I'm saying, you have to pay attention to it. So relational capital, who can trust you with sensitive information? Note that down. Who trusts you? All right. Sorry, hold on a second. I need to do something. Who trusts you? All right. Okay. All right. So we're back. Who trusts you with sensitive information? Like I said, who also trusts you with responsibility? Please be thinking as I'm asking. Who also trusts you with responsibility? Mm. Who will recommend you when opportunity arises? Note that down. Because trust is the foundation currency of relationships. So who trusts you? When you don't have trust, a relationship is degraded to its lowest level. When you have trust, a relationship becomes transformational. When you don't have trust, a relationship is degraded to its lowest level. It's in shambolic shambles. When you have trust, it has the potential, innate potential, to become absolutely transformational. But my question to you is, who trusts you? Who trusts you with responsibility? Who trusts you to get a job done? Who trusts you to deliver? Who trusts you? The second layer is what we call reputational capital. Reputational capital is the market value of your name, simply put, the market value of your name. Reputational capital answers questions, a series of questions. Um, what happens when your name is mentioned in the room? In other words, what does your name communicate? Does your name communicate dependability? Does your name communicate being strategic? Does your name communicate principles, trustworthy? Or does your name communicate unreliable, opportunistic, inconsistent? So you also have to think about that because reputations travels way faster than resumes. You have to think about that. It's so important. It's very important. You have to think about that. All right. So in most high level environments, opportunities move through reputation, referrals, than applications. There are many things that I've gotten at the mention of my name. Many people that have sought me out to do stuff at the mention of my name. And it's a positioning. I've said it in many ways, in different ways, but it's really accumulation of the experiences of the past, the occurrences of now, and the promise of the future. And it's the positioning, whether you take that definition from branding as usually to your market position or the market value of your name, which is your reputation, right? And it's really, really the biggest things do not come via application. The biggest things come by recommendation and referral. So, what comes to people's minds when they hear your name? It's something that you need to be careful about. It's something that you need to pay absolute attention to. Something that you need to pay absolute attention to. All right. Okay. So let's go forward. The third one, so the first one was what? Relational capital. The second one was reputational capital. The third one is very important, and I do a lot of play here, is intellectual capital. And intellectual capital, all right, it's simply about the worth of your thinking capacity. Intellectual capital is highly desired, very likable, and very well sought after. So when you're talking of intellectual capital, right, um, it brings you to realms of strategic insight. It brings you to levels of, deep industry knowledge. You're a maven. It gives you deep understanding, comprehension. It gives you a wide perspective, a global perspective, if you like. It gives you, it elevates how you see the world. So relationships that deliver intellectual capital to you, um, de- I mean, they lift how you see the world. There are people that I have conversations with, and literally every time that you have a conversation with them, you grow inches in your worldview, your understanding businesses. The many that I could recommend. Many people say that they get deep insights when they have conversations with me. I also have deep insights when I have conversations with people, deeper levels of understanding, deeper levels of comprehension, even knowing things that you hitherto did not know, or as we say usually, things that you know but haven't paid enough attention to. So relationships that deliver intellectual capital to you, or that you deliver intellectual capital to, grow and grow significantly, because you know what, you understand things from a wider view. You're able to apply things from that wide view, and once you're able to have a global view of things, a balcony view of things, a larger picture of things, then you can initially have strategies that suitably deliver on the minor, on the meat and the minor. It's so important. It's so important. But I want us to run quickly for the sake of time, because I have quite a lot to, and I'm not quite done. The fourth one that I want to share with you, we're talking about layers of capital, layers of capital that you find in every relationship that you have, all right? And so the layers of capital, the fourth one is institutional capital. The first is relational capital. The second is reputational capital. The third is intellectual capital. And the fourth that I'm about to share with you is institutional capital. All right? Institutional capital. Some structures are larger than individuals. Every other thing that I've said to you has to do with individuals. However, some structures are larger than individuals, way larger than individuals. All right. And these are corporations, all right, organizations, government institutions, investment bodies, advisory councils, for instance. All right. An affiliation with a number of them over the years has also allowed me to, be able to speak on this rather comfortably. Because, for instance, if you take the work of different organizations, um, you agree with me that there are certain advisory councils or certain committees or certain can be a council member of certain entities that increase your individual influence. Do you get that now? There are things that you partner with, are things that you are affiliated with, that already signal you as a right standing person. You get the picture, right? So if I came to you and I said, "Oh, my name is Ania Kanusoro, advisory council member of the United Nations," guess what? Already have your attention. Your mind has shifted. If this guy, or I say I'm on the board of XYZ Bank, your mind has already shifted. So your level of perception of receiving of everything that I have to has significantly gone up. So there's institutional capital that you can't mess with. Institutional capital that delivers levels of credibility to you that individually you could not hitherto attain. It's so important. It's really important. That's why we try to be members of professional bodies and members of certain elite clubs or elite groups or elite network, or academic clubs or academic groups. Why? Because just by being a member, not that that's the only reason, but just by being a member of such an institution, it's already settled that you're at a certain level of intellectual, capacity, you're at a certain level of reputational capacity, and you're at a certain level of relational capacity. Do you understand that? All right. So that's so important. Okay, because when institutions trust you to be a part of them, it multiplies your impact. When institutions trust you to be a part of them, it multiplies your impact. A very dear one to me just recently became a member of a council of an economic body. And I can tell you, as I've said to her, it will multiply your individual impact, your personal impact in life. It will significantly multiply. I've seen it happen for me, for others, I've seen it happen. And that's how it works. The last one, number 5, is very important. It's very, very important. And if you know me, you'll know that there's no way I could have left it out. This is spiritual capacity or your spiritual capital. Many times it's often overlooked, but it's actually extremely important. I consider it extremely important. Your spiritual capital. So, spiritual capital refers to your moral credibility and value consistency. Um, I mean, the people that you meet and you just know that this person is spiritually good, this person is upstanding. People trust, people trust spiritual people that demonstrate integrity, character, accountability, humility. And over time, character becomes a magnet for trust. So without spiritual capital, success is temporary. I'm not saying you can't hit success, but it's temporary because integrity, character, discipline, accountability, humility are the things that are the spiritual values, by the way, that help sustain, whatever boost that you have in life, that ensure that, you know, you, this is it. And once people are not sure about it, there's a real problem. There's a real problem. There's a real problem. Trust is so now that we've discussed this, I want us to talk about trust quickly. I want us to talk about trust. The thing about trust, the thing is, there's no way you can have um, a leadership conversation or a business conversation about relationship, the economics of relationship, without talking about trust. Because everything that we're doing is just buttering up so we can get to the hard conversation about trust. So let's talk about trust. Let's talk about trust. You see, many times trust is spoken of in emotional terms, emotional context. I trust you. Do you trust me? Trust is spoken of in emotional context. But I want to attempt to share something to you today that will help you reframe trust and put it in an economic context. In other words, if I don't trust you, you're not seeing my money. Simply put, and I'm serious. If I don't trust you, you ain't seeing money. So let's look at trust as an economic infrastructure. And I really, 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 there was someone I was having a conversation with earlier in the week, and it was about this. And I really wish I could have a personal so that we could have a live banter. We can have a live banter. Listen, guys, trust has measurable economic implications. Measurable economic implications. Trust has it. When trust is low, when trust is low, this is what happens. Many things begin to happen. Organizations, systems, associations, groups, they begin to compensate when trust is low. So you get short term contracts, not because of budget, but because we don't trust you enough to give you something long term. You have rigid compliance structures, not because we're taskmasters, but because we don't trust you to comply. We have undue legal monitoring, for instance, complex verification systems. Why is all of this? At the end of it, the answer is simple: no trust. And it puts a burden on whatever initiative, business, or expression that we have because everything becomes slower. If I have to double check or triple check everything that we have, then because I don't trust you, it means that the process between one phase or the and the next becomes slower, not just slower, but more expensive. So the lack of trust, or when trust is low, is too costly a thing to have. It's too expensive. You don't understand what I'm saying? It's too expensive. Trust is so the flip side of it is that when trust is high, when there's trust, all right, transactions become faster, cheaper, repeatable, scalable when there's trust. So as an organization, you invest heavily in putting a governance structure, a framework into place. Why? Because it's simply just you are very very careful about the processes that bring people in. Because when the people come in, you want to be able to trust them. So you invest heavily in an HR process that ensures that only the best brains, the finance people, the people with the displayed or expressed high level of integrity come into the system so that you don't have to now do the internal things that will cost you time, make your processes druggy and slower, and if you ask me, very painful. So cost, the last of sorry, trust rather. All right. Uh, 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 Trust. The more the more trust exists in the relationship, the lower the cost of doing business. It's the truth. The less trust is in the relationship, the higher the cost of doing business, the higher the cost of a thing. So trust is very important. Trust is absolutely, absolutely important. And that's why I want you to think about say trust is so important that every time somebody vouches for you, every time somebody vouches for you, do people trust you enough to put their credibility at risk every time they vouch for you? Because don't you realize that whenever people recommend you, whenever people refer you, or whenever people vouch for you, what they're doing is they're putting their own credibility at risk. But the question, what will make them do that? Because they trust you. What makes you go to war? Because you trust that whoever gave the instruction for you to go to war has taken the time to analyze the pitfalls, the opportunity costs, the threats, the weaknesses, and everything round about whatever assignment that you have. Because if you don't trust that, you'll never go into that war with your heart. Do you want me to talk about trust in your emotional relationships? Trust. Absolutely important. Absolutely. Absolutely important. Mm. So when we're still talking about trust, you have to understand that, like I said earlier, that listen, without trust, you will use not empirically proven, but 10 times the energy just to exist. Because when you don't trust, you're checking over your back, you're checking over this, you're trying to verify this, you are imagining what isn't, you are picturing this, you are reading meaning into everything. Everything is speaking from your taste board of distrust. You're wearing the lens of distrust. You don't even the normal thing. You are questioning over the bandwidth of your memory, of your intellectual that you're using to do that is what you should have been using to grow the relationship that you're in. So, in other words, the relationship is not growing. So, every time that you do something that has your trust question, it's it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the person that caused the issue. It's not good for the person who's struggling to trust. It's just bad business. It's just bad business. So I think every relationship, because listen, without trust, and I'm spending time talking about trust because it's so important. Without trust, every partnership, whether emotional or business, will collapse. Without trust, it will collapse. All right, it will collapse. And every relationship comes with opportunities. Trust is what allows you to take risk with those opportunities. The real price, the benefit of that relationship is on the other side of the risk. When you don't trust, you won't take the risk. When you don't take the risk, you don't grow. Simple. So, am I saying trust blindly? Absolutely not. But guess what? If you were supposed to get something massive out of a relationship, but don't have trust, you don't get the massive thing out of the relationship. All right? You don't get out of the relationship. So trust is so important. So important. And you have to pay attention to this because this is how you're going to move from, from accidental networks that a lot of you have found yourself in to intentional networks that you found yourself in. All right. I want to quickly deal with something before I close, and I hope that everybody is being on the same page with me, getting all I've been sharing with you. I want to talk about five mistakes. So I talk about relationship as a capital. Five relational mistakes people make. Five relational mistakes people make. Five relational mistakes people make. All right. Many people fail to build relational capital because of these patterns, because of these things. All right. Number one, mistake number one, if you like. Number one, networking without value. So when you meet people, you get contact, you do all of that. What's the whole idea? So people show up seeking access without offering contribution. Influential networks respond to value creators, not value seekers. You may be seeking value, but you're creating value while seeking value. So that's number one. And we talked about that. Stop showing up empty handed. Stop showing up just to collect. Show up to give. When you want to give value, people appreciate you and they exchange value for the value that you're giving. All right. All right. Number two, and this is very important, confusing popularity with influence. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Just because a lot of people know you does not mean a lot of people will do things because of you. Just because a lot of people know you doesn't mean a lot of people will do things because of you. All right. So having many contacts does not mean having strategic relationships. Strategic relationships will deliver value to you. Influence is built on trust and credibility, not on visibility. Influencer, hear this one so that you don't think I'm coming for you. Influence is built on trust and credibility, not just visibility. Please note that. Mistake number three. Mistake number three. Mistake number three. Um, well, Mistake number three, I will say, is ignoring reciprocity. All right. Healthy relationships operate on mutual value exchange. It's tied to one, but I need to separate it because you get it. All right. One-sided relationships will collapse. There must be value exchange. Mistake number four. Aha. You see this mistake number four? Hmm. Mistake number four is getting access without preparation. It will destroy you. It's a prayer you should pray. God, may I never have access I'm not prepared for. If I raise your right hand and declare, may I never have access that I'm not prepared for. Because, listen, you can gain access to influential environments. But if you get there, you're not prepared to deliver value, a number of things can happen. Number one, you're kicked out. Number two, you're remembered as the guy that showed up unprepared. And number three, you may never get another opportunity because you got that opportunity. So the opportunity that you got becomes the reason why you don't get another opportunity. Yeah. Because your preparation determines whether access becomes an opportunity. I'll say that one more time. I'll say that one more time. Your preparation determines whether the access that you get becomes an opportunity. See, that's why I tell people all the time that you've got to be prepared. You've got to show up ready for every opportunity you have. And your ability to show up ready requires that you not only recognize opportunities, utilize opportunities, but you must maximize opportunities. You've got to show up ready. You've got to show up prepared. You have to be value oriented. You have to be thinking value, creating value, so that when the doors of and it starts really from the point of the ASK that I've said to you many times: ask, seek, knock. So that when you're knocking on the doors of opportunity, because you ask the right questions and you sought the answers to those questions, and the process of seeking is the process of preparation that then qualifies you to stand to knock at the door of opportunity. So when you knock at the door of opportunity, you show up ready. It's criminal to show up unready. Life hardly forgives those that showed up unprepared. Don't show up unprepared. And then number five, the fifth mistake that people make, and it's 8 o'clock already, so I may be wrapping up soon. The fifth mistake people make, misaligned partnerships, and this is so important. Maybe I'll take up from here next week, or maybe I can do a bit of it. So look, listen, strategic. Let me just talk a bit about it. All right. So three things that three things that three things that every strategic relationship must have in alignment. Number one, there must be alignment of vision. Number two, and very importantly, there must be alignment of values. And then three, there must be alignment of expectation. So number one, there must be alignment of vision. Number two, there must be alignment of values. And three, there must be alignment of expectations. Anytime there's a misalignment in vision, anytime there's a misalignment in values, anytime there's a misalignment in expectation, a friction is created. And every time there's a friction, the challenges that come with it. I'll probably walk this a bit more next week. I'll open with this, but I just want you to know, please understand, there must be that alignment. That alignment is so key. One of the mistakes that you have partnerships, you're an ecosystem where there's a misalignment just because for whatever reason you want to be somewhere. If your vision doesn't align with their vision, if your values are not in sync with their values, if your expectations are not in alignment with their expectations, then you're going to have a lot of challenge. You're definitely going to have a lot of challenge because misalignment will create heat, create friction, um, will create negative energy and negative heat, and you really don't want to go along that path. You really don't want to go along that path. All right, and so that's very key. All right, so it's top of the hour. It's top of the hour, and I really, really, really have to go now. But I just want to say to everyone, thank you for joining us. I want you to understand that um, you don't scale because you're talented. Your business doesn't grow because you're talented. Your relationship determine your future possibilities. Please, I want you to know that. You scale because people trust you with responsibility. Do people trust you? What's your relational capital? All right, we're talking about relationship as a capital. What's your relational capital? What's your relational equity that you're bringing to every transaction? You don't enter influential rooms because of your ambitions. As a matter of fact, your ambitions may even be a repelling factor for you. You enter those rooms, influential rooms, because someone believes in your credibility. It's so important. All right, and just note, guys, that listen, and I want this to sink in. Your network is your network is a hidden balance sheet of opportunities. The question is, you've got to work it right. You've got to show up right to be able to get the right out of it. You have to be sure that you're in the right network. You have to be sure that your network has what it needs to be able to deliver to you. And you have to be careful about your network. You have to build it wisely. You have to guard it carefully. And you have to invest in it intentionally. So important, so important. And I hope that we've been able to with the points that I've maybe shared with you, we're able to get deeper understanding to the concept of your relationship as capital, and that you understand that your relationship is not just is more than just some feeling. It's an economic asset. It's a social asset, and you understand that your social capital is very instrumental to your progress and to your to how well that you do in life. It's so important. All right, thank you everybody that has been with us from the start of the hour. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being on this first episode of the Economics of Relationship series. Thank you for just the comments, sharing your time for the past now slightly over 1 hour. Thank you so much. Do share your thoughts again on, as we usually do. Do share your thoughts, whether now in the course of the week before the next episode, on the things that you've gleaned from this episode. Having your seeing your relationships, positioning your relationships, understanding that your relationships as capital. And this is the first episode of the Economics of Relationship series. We look forward to the next episode by next Sunday. And hey, I trust that you have a good time. Till then, let's keep on connecting. All right. Have a great night, everyone, from my neck of the woods. And stay safe, and let's